Good morning, students. Welcome to another lecture. Today, I'll start with hyperbole, pun, and ode. Now, hyperbole is an exaggeration for the sake of emphasis and a figure of speech not meant literally. Now, hyperbole is nothing but exaggeration. When a poet, when an author tries to say something in excess, or you could say exaggeration is in Hindi it means बढ़ा चढ़ा के बोलना, to exaggerate something for the sake of, in order to create a humorous impact. So exaggeration is nothing but hyperbole is nothing but exaggeration. Now this word hyperbole comes from a Greek word, and it itself means excess of something. Now you could clearly notice hyperbole in day to day speech, like the example, like the complaint. I have been waiting here for ages. Okay, whenever we wait for someone, थोड़ी भी देर हो जाती है तो वी क्लियरली से दिस लाइन, वी क्लियरली नोटिस, वी क्लियरली से दैट इतने टाइम से 10 घंटे से सदियों से वेट कर रहे हैं. बट actually it doesn't mean that we have been waiting there for so much time, or for centuries, or for ages. Now, these expressions are common in the inflated style of dramatic speech known as bombast. Now, this type is clearly known as bombasting way of expressing your things. We have studied the poem Go and Catch a Falling Star by John Donne. ये जो पोएम है वो क्लियरली बहुत ही एक क्लियर एग्जाम्पल है हाइपरबोले का. इसमें जॉन डन ऐसे एक्सप्रेशंस यूज़ करते हैं जो कि कॉमन नहीं है, जो कि पॉसिबल नहीं है. चीज़ों को बढ़ा चढ़ा के बताया गया है इस पोएम में. नाउ यू कांट कैच अ फॉलिंग स्टार, you can't write for 10,000 days and nights. Okay, so they all are exaggeration. He has used to create a humorous effect. As skinny as a toothpick. Now a person can't be as skinny as a toothpick. Okay, so they all are uh, hyperbolic expressions. Now, a pun is an expression that achieves emphasis or humor by contriving an ambiguity. Now, two distinct meanings being suggested either by the same word or by two similar sounding words. Okay, so actually, pun consists in a play on the various meanings of a word, and it is seldom used except for jest. Now, for example, if someone says, can the leopard change its spots? Now spots का मतलब है leopard के जो marks हैं वो. Now if another person says that yes, the leopard changes its spots whenever it goes from one spot to another. अब यहाँ पे spot का मतलब एक place से दूसरे place पे जाना. So it is a clear example of pun. Spot को double meaning में use किया गया है. एक spot का मतलब है उस पे जो marks हैं वो, दूसरे spot का मतलब है एक place से दूसरे place पे जाना. Okay, so pun is nothing but a play on words, and these words are either identical in sound, or they are very similar. They are in similar sound, and of course, they are used to create a humorous effect. Now, this word pun, it also comes from the Greek word paronomozein, which means to make a change in a name. And the most common type of pun is the humorous use of word in a way that you can interpret it in more than one way. Like the example, an ambassador is a gentleman who lies abroad for the good of his country. Now here the word lies, it has double meaning. एक मतलब हो गया झूठ बोलना, और एक मतलब हो गया रहना. ठीक है, सो यू कैन क्लियरली नोटिस कि इस वर्ड को कैसे डबल वे में यूज़ किया गया है. दिस इज This is basically the beauty of pun. Ode, we have already discussed it. It is a kind of lyric poetry, an elaborately formal lyric poem, often in the form of a lengthy ceremonious address to a person or abstract entity, always serious and elevated in tone. Now, you can say that it is a formal address to an event, to a person or a thing not present. The word ode, it is also derived from the Greek word aidein. Now, it means to sing or to chant. Now, why they were written? Basically, it was written in order to appreciate, and they are written about a significant event, about a person, or about even about a thing that the poet admires. Now, John Keats have written an ode to celebrate the beauty of a thing, and that thing was Grecian urn. So you could imagine that he was so inspired by the beauty of that urn that he decided to dedicate a poem in its honor. So basically, this is the beauty of an ode. This is an ode. And if you talk about its types, basically there are three types of odes: Pindaric odes, Horatian odes, and irregular odes. Now, in Greek, the choral ode of Pindar were devoted to public praise of athletes. Now, Pindar was the famous Greek poet, and his choral odes were performed to celebrate athletic victories. Like Wordsworth has written famous Pindaric ode ode on the intimidations of immortality. That is famous Pindaric ode. Now, the Horatian ode is actually more serious in tone and in comparison to Pindaric odes, and it is also less ceremonial. Its subject was simple and it reflected on nature, on people, and on abstract concepts. Now, Pindar composed his odes for performance by a chorus using lines of varying length in a complex three-part structure of strophe, antistrophe, and epode, corresponding to the chorus dancing movement. So, Pindaric odes were basically divided into these three parts. Strophe was the beginning, antistrophe was the middle, and epode was the concluding part of the Pindaric odes. Now, odes in which the same form of stanza is repeated are called Horatian odes. We have already talked about Horatian odes. They were more serious in tone. And one more type of ode is irregular odes. John Keats, Shelley, they have written irregular odes. And basically, irregular odes doesn't conform to any structure. The verse is generally irregular with no formal rhyme scheme. So these were different types of odes, and of course, ode is also a type of lyric poetry, which is basically to address, or are they are written in order to appreciate a person. It could be anything or about a significant event. Thank you. That's all for today.